Commission confirms that 7 of the biometric devices are indeed missing. I urge the CID and the Ghana Police Service to immediately issue a statement giving us the details of their investigation so far. I am concerned and worried because that devices in the hands of an unknown person can compromise the future elections that Ghana will have.
The Commission recently undertook routine servicing of its biometric voter registration kits. It was during this maintenance that we discovered the theft of 5 laptops from the biometric voter registration kits, not 7 BVDs as erroneously stated. The stolen laptops cannot be utilized for voter verification or registration. It remains just a laptop. As such, they cannot be used to compromise our systems and undermine the credibility of the upcoming elections in December 2024.
Welcome back to Key Point. So that was the minority earlier raising issues with the reports they had received that some 7 biometric verification devices had gone missing. The Electoral Commission responded that indeed some items of theirs have gone missing, not BVDs, but laptops, and continuously makes that assurance that these laptops that are being stolen or missing cannot impact on our electoral integrity in any way, and that the laptops don't contain sensitive information. That even if these BVDs have been stolen, they will need some activation code for it to work and so on. But that did not satisfy the concerns of some of the stakeholders in this election, to the extent that we still have BVDs in the hands of persons who should not be having it. Now, after that press conference by the Electoral Commission, then there was the leaked internal memo detailing the fact that some 28 BVDs had not been returned to the store of the Electoral Commission's headquarters after the biometric voter, after the district level elections on the 19th in December last year. The question is, these BVDs that have not been returned to the chest of the Electoral Commission, where are they? It's almost 4 months after this district level elections. After this release of the Electoral Commission, what next? Because after this memo was leaked, the Electoral Commission issued another statement explaining why this leaked memo that confirms that indeed some BVDs have not been returned to them is not really an issue. They say that this is an internal procedure. It's only an asset management procedure. Let's take a look at the statement that the Electoral Commission issued explaining this. They say that they are hopefully, the Electoral Commission of Ghana can retrieve these unreturned biometric verification devices very soon. And goes on and on. And there are some other matters as well that they raise. It will give you one. It says no compromise to electoral integrity. The BVDs integral to our electoral process are designed with sophisticated security features without the proper activation and official use within our electoral framework. These devices are essentially inoperative. The integrity of our elections, therefore, remains unassailable. Misinterpretations and clarifications. The circulated memo should be understood in its correct context. It is a procedural document for asset management, not an admission of asset theft. Our efficient tracking systems ensure that return and accounting of all our assets, reaffirming our commitment to prudence with the use of the funds security and usefulness of equipment. We want to assure the public that any equipment, if ever misplaced, and even in case of vandalism, cannot be utilized to undermine the credibility of our electoral process due to the advanced security protocols and activation requirements in place. And so that's the explanation that the Electoral Commission gave after all of this played out. But I'll start off with you, Dennis, because, you see, the BVDs, the BVDs, the BVDs have not been returned to chest, right? The Electoral Commission talks about the fact that, yes, this does not have any material impact on our electoral process. But if you look at the breakdown of where all the BVDs that have not been returned are, it's almost in all the 10 regions. That raises some concern, does it not?
Well, Wilfred, I mean, I don't speak for the Electoral Commission.
Indeed. And that's why I put all their statements there.
I'll never seek to speak for the Electoral Commission. I have always made it categorically clear on this platform on TV3, all your shows, that the Electoral Commission has a mandate to deliver credible, transparent, fair elections for this country. And so at all times, for me, what is important is that when there are issues, all political parties are at liberty to raise those issues. And then the Electoral Commission also has a mandate to clarify those issues. When I look at the clarification they've brought, it's sound. It makes sense. It adds up. I mean, even basic IT will tell you that even if you pick any of those guys, there's nothing you can do about it. What is crucial is the database itself. But laptop, even my laptop, if you steal my laptop today, you can't do anything with it. You can't have access to anything on my laptop. There's nothing you can do with it. You understand? Because I work on a laptop, but it's only a transmitter gadgets. Everything is sitting in the cloud somewhere. So when you have access to that cloud, you know, that you really have something on me. It even applies to our phones that we are holding. And it all depends on how it's configured. Because again, I can pick Honorable Martin Kwebu's laptop and probably have everything on it. Because he's probably put everything on his desktop or his documents somewhere. But other people also just simply work on the cloud. And so if you pick their laptop, you just have to log out on their phone or somewhere, and then everything is gone. It's just a tool you are holding that does nothing. So, I mean, once I read the statements, I think my mind was at peace that really, and if there's a BVD machine with a capable Electoral Commission, it's the same Electoral Commission anyway. And so if they say their internal processes, I don't see such a big deal. Unless really you are making it from the point of really not having enough insight into some of these things. So it's completely important that we bring these issues up. I don't have any problem with the NDC bringing it up, honestly. They should bring it up. When they bring it up and the EC also comes to clarify, they can question the clarification on substance.
I see.
What I think we should avoid is conspiracy theories and those things that don't help. You know, those things usually tend to only dent the processes. If there are material facts to it, you can raise it. I don't think there's anything wrong if they say, there's some BVD machines, we see an internal memo, an internal document that says it's not there. If they feel alarmed, they have every right to raise it. If the MPP identifies something like that, we will raise it. But it's important that the EC swiftly comes in to also clarify, which they have done. And I have read the entire statement. It's very sound, and I don't think there is any cause for alarm. I think we should continue like this, especially in an election year. We should continuously engage. What we should avoid is to, like they say in G, chinchina, like at all costs try to impugn, some, underhand activities in things that are obvious in terms of substance and fact, that there's nothing more to it, apart from the fact that maybe one region hasn't submitted their gadgets and another.
It's actually not just one reason. If you look at the details of the statement that you indicate you have read, in the 10 regions, 28 BVDs in total have not been returned.
So, but it has no impact.
So, for instance,
in terms of substance,
well
having the BVD, in fact, currently it's with the Electoral Commission. No BVD is missing. It's with the Electoral Commission, except that it's at the regional level or at the district level.
But they have not been returned.
Yes, but it's not missing. The second point also is that even if it is missing, the substance here is, even if you you break into the Electoral Commission today and steal BVD machines, could you use it to affect the integrity of the elections? I think these are the critical things that we should be worried about. If we cannot use the gadgets, whether the laptop or the BVD, to affect the integrity of the elections, then really I don't think it's an issue. Because I don't think that we are ruling out the fact that Electoral Commission assets can be missing. It can be missing. You understand? There are people, even police stations, people go there to go and steal things. Yeah. Bank of Ghana, they have their bullion bars, people. So it could be missing. But what is important is that what systems have been put in place to ensure, and it's important that they've done that. It's important that the Electoral Commission system is structured in a way where even if you manage to steal or pick or take any of these gadgets, you cannot use it to affect the integrity of the election. That I think is very important. But as to whether a gadget is missing, of course, in this case it's not missing. But even if it is missing, the fact is that it is of no consequence to the electoral processes. That for me is very important. The reason why I try not to, and I say I don't speak for the Electoral Commission, is that we always have our issues with the Electoral Commission as political parties. And I don't want to contradict myself. Because on any day that I have concerns with anything that the Electoral Commission is doing, I'll raise it. I was on the street when we were doing Let My Vote Count. And I say Electoral Commission. And that is why anytime I refer to Electoral Commission, I don't personalize it. It is the organization. So I remember, it is fresh on my mind, when the Electoral Commission of Ghana was actually adamant to our concerns and demands some few years ago. And at that time, the NDC, that today comes to raise press conferences every day, they were in support of them. I will not come here and sit here today and come to be defending the same Electoral Commission that was adamant to me some years ago. And then what? 3 years down the line, I'll come and raise concerns. I won't do that. So I want to be put on record that the Electoral Commission is a referee. They are not my friends. I'm not related to them. My friends are in the MPP. My relations are the MPP. I have no ball to play with the Electoral Commission. Our political party has no, apart from a working relationship in terms of we are players in the field that you are as an Electoral Commission. We have no other friendship, relationship dealings with them.
Hey, no back channel communication.
Nothing, zero. And
you talk to them behind the scenes.
Nothing. And I'm very serious about it. You see, I'm serious about it because it's not that we belittle our systems and structures in this country. Alfred, you really think that in South Dai, the Electoral Commissioner, those people that are listed, they really have some big influence on Honorable Roxanne Dafiamopo's elections and his polling station? They don't, please. Okay. I have been doing, I am young, but I've been doing, please hold on.
All right,
I am young.
I'll come to you.
I am young, but I've been doing this election thing for a very long time. Ask him, he's here. So I don't want us to belittle the systems and structures that our country has actually built and ensuring that we strengthen organizations. What we should do is to constantly audit, query, and interrogate these institutions, but not seek to personalize these institutions. That is why I say that the same Electoral Commission that was adamant for which reason horse whips and hot water was poured on me on the streets of Accra. I'll not come and sit here and be seen to be speaking for them. But reading what they have written and hearing the complaints from the NDC, I think that the NDC's concerns should be settled now because they've explained that indeed we have some BVDs that have not been returned, but one, it is not missing. It is with the Electoral Commission, only at the regional level. Number two, our systems and structures are, and that was a very important additional clarification, our systems and structures are in a sense that even if you manage to steal my laptop or manage to steal my BVD, you cannot really do anything with it. And see, one of the reasons why it is believable what they are saying is that they even came to provide additional information that even the NDC didn't have. Because the NDC raised concerns about 5 or so BVDs, 7 missing. But they have even come to give additional information. That's not even the only ones we haven't received. There are even more that we haven't seen. I think that settles it. What is important is that on the day of election, 7th December, there are BVDs that are not compromised. There are laptops that are not compromised. That would ensure that every citizen has one vote during the election process.
Thank you.
And I think that's most important.
Thank Dennis Miracle Sabwaji. Now, there was people, there's issue about the commission. The commission also having the responsibility to ensure that the person they work with have integrity so as not to even be compromised with information close to people who would have access to these BVDs. Because if you look at the original breakdown of the BVDs that have not been returned to the Electoral Commission store as yet, the Greater Accra region has, and Dr. Osai Kwapo is joining us. He's asking for a link. We'll get Dr. Osai Kwapo the link shortly to join us on Zoom. It says Greater Accra 1, Eastern Region 1, Western North 2, Western Region 5, Central Region 1, Volta Region 2, Upper East 3, Savannah Region 2, Northern 9. Northeast. That has the highest number of BVDs that have not been returned. And Northeast Region 2. That definitely, even with the Electoral Commission's explanation, the fundamental question is then interrogating why these BVDs have not been returned and what has to be done going forward after this statement was released, isn't it?
Yes, there's every reason to question the state of affairs now, right? Because you know that, putting it mildly, the 2024 elections is like our second independence, right? So anything that has the potential of derailing it is something that we have to interrogate well and then resolve. Yes, because we shouldn't leave anything to chance, because even one single vote counts. So I mean, when I saw it, I was like, hey, yes, I agree. They should interrogate it. The EC should open its doors. Let the NDC see everything that is NDC thinks is wrong, so that, confidence in the EC will be restored. Because it's all about confidence. We don't want any war drums. We want, looking at the nation, I've seen that the mood of the nation is changed. So let's not do anything to derail or steal the sovereign will of the people. Yes, that's the way I see it. So I'm giving the support to the NDC that they should question, because the more they question, then the more we can get better answers. Because you see that the kind of information NDC as a collective has, we as individuals and civil society organizations may not necessarily have. So sometimes we'll have to come and stand behind them to help them ask the EC questions, because it's part of our democratic culture. So for me, that is what...
So the questions, the end result is to ensure that the confidence within the commission is built ahead of this crucial election that we have ahead of us.
Absolutely, yes, we need that confidence. We need it so that there will be no opportunity for somebody to later say that, no, every step of the way, there was never transparency, etc., right? Yes, so let's do it. Let's build confidence. That's very, very crucial, so that the outcome will be easily accepted.
Council, does this explanation by the EC, you said even that 7 BVDs were missing or had not been returned to the chest of the EC.
Yes.
They come out and say, well, it's not even 7, it's more than that. 28. And that our systems are robust in such a way that we're even able to track the fact that these BVDs have not been returned. You need activation codes to even get them active. The BVDs have been structured in such a way that it doesn't compromise our electoral integrity in any way. Does that satisfy the concerns or the answers you were seeking from them?
First of all, that response from the EC is unsettling.
Why?
Unsettling in the sense that the numbers that we had intelligence that were not available in respect of the machines apparently was much more than that. Okay. This is an internal memo that you sent out yourself. As part of the protocols for closure to any public elections, include the return to safety of these machines. So once these machines were returned minus this, it means it's a cause of worry to all of us. To the extent that it took head office to send a memo to remind the regional heads is what is troubling the NDC. It means that the regional heads don't have them. It means they don't have them. It means they don't have the, because head office has been waiting, hoping that perhaps it was some oversight and that the regional heads would have submitted them willingly. Maybe when they were called for a meeting, they would have brought them, so it was an oversight. But the DLEs were held in December 19th. December ended, January ended. So in February, they sent this memo around. I was hoping that the Electoral Commission would have responded and said that out of the 28 that we directed that should be submitted, maybe 15 have been submitted. This number outstanding. But you don't tell us that your machines are robust and all. Who says? Even national security machines are hacked. This Electoral Commission, during the 2016 December general elections, they told us that their systems had been hacked. Please. Laptop contains database. Oh, please, laptops. You see, they use the laptops for registration. The BVDs are different from laptops. You understand?
Right.
The verification machines are different from the laptops that are used to capture data. The laptops contain the app for registration. All you need to activate it is an internet. When you have an internet, EC shouldn't tell me that it is so robust. Do you know people who are well skilled in IT matters?
So the EC says that the laptops don't contain any database.
So what were the laptops being used for? It's another thing that when they tell you, that you feel like crying. They think that everybody is so naive, and with all due respect and excuse my language, we are stupid. These are official laptops that officers use to capture data for purposes of your work. And they are missing, and we are asking and say they contain nothing. Why do you have them as laptops? Are they brand new laptops that you bought from CompuGhana? No, these are working machines that have gone missing. They contain data. They don't want to admit that these laptops contain data because they think that everybody will become apprehensive. But that is the fact. That is the fact. And let me add, I'm one of the keen watchers of the EC in this country. I'm in court against them. Look, the politicization of the EC is a cause to worry. As we speak, I'm in court in respect of the appointment of Dr. Apiahene. And I'm anxious that no matter.
Selima is not added, the lady.
Oh, no, I didn't, because I didn't have enough against her.
Okay.
But I have enough evidence, sufficient enough to proceed against Apiahene. That matter is not determined yet. And so when you add all this to these happenings, then of course you are worried that we must be careful so that the EC is not become a compromise referee for our upcoming elections. And the EC is not being stable in terms of its decisions. Today they want to add indelible ink. Tomorrow they don't want to add it. Today they want to. I mean, they are vacillating. They must learn to work within the rules that we are fashioning for them. CI 91, 126, 127. And the BVD machines are requirements of law. They must be protected. They are also not firing officers. There's no consequence. When you have a regional officer who is supposed to follow the protocol and submit machine, he hasn't done, fire the person and hire a new person. These things are happening because nobody is being punished for exhibiting incompetence. Look, the December 7th elections, like my senior Kbebu said, it's our second independence.
Hey, Charlie,
we will safeguard it with all that it takes. So the EC must rather learn to be an independent arbiter. It will help them, it will serve them.
But what is not making them an independent arbiter as it stands now? What conduct has, in your view, compromised their independence at this point?
Comments of high-ranking officers.
For instance?
Comments. Dr. Srimbo, for instance, will say NDC is a threat to Ghana's democracy. What sort of comment is that? Why do you speak in such terms?
Is that one?
NDC is a threat to Ghana's democracy.
It's not the other one, the professor, rather.
No.
Yeah, the professor.
No.
Bossman.
No, it's not Bossman. It's the big one. It's wait, check. You can Google. Two or perhaps both of them said they are different.
You understand? Bossman
Yes.
that's
You know, so
No,
when
no,
you
no, no.
antagonize a major political party this way, your conduct will watch your conduct and will be apprehensive when they don't follow the letter of the law.
Well, Dr. John Osai Kwapong is a fellow democracy and governance and at the Center for Democratic Development, CDD. He's joining us on Zoom. Dr. Osai Kwapong, appreciate you. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Alfred. Thanks
you.
for having me.
Indeed. Thank you so much for making the time to join us. So, and you joined in at a point when Lamatipepo was making his submission. But Dennis Miracles Abajo of the MPP, the end objective of all of this, in the view of all the persons who have spoken, is to improve the confidence in the Electoral Commission as an institution going into the election. But does the posturing of the EC in any way raise concerns for you?
Yeah, thank you very much. And as you and I have, discussed a few times on your shows, we've, that's the point. It all boils down to you want to make sure that going into this crucial 2024 election, that confidence in the EC, trust in the EC is at its best. And I've repeatedly said that is one of the challenges that the EC as an institution faces this year, particularly if you look at the most recent Afrobarometer from 2022. The percentage of Ghanaians who say they trust the EC a lot is at an all-time low. So as it prepares itself to manage and deliver the 2024 elections, it is also carrying this burden of ensuring that all of its actions and inactions do not further deepen this mistrust in the institution, but rather restores confidence and improves it. And so when these stories or when these issues emerge, whether it's, is it a missing laptop, what number was it? Is it a BVR? Is it, whatever issues begin to emerge, for me, it is incumbent upon the EC to get ahead of these issues and these stories, and to make sure that whatever explanations are giving are tenable. Yes, I understand that in an environment of also very sharpened partisan edges, there would still be some lingering questions or some lingering suspicions. But when all is said and done, you want the EC to be more proactive, because sometimes some of these stories come out as though if it were up to the institution, we wouldn't know, and we just so happen to know because a question was posed in Parliament, or a letter found its way in the public domain, or something found its way into the hands of either parliamentarians or citizens. And again, all of those things, for me, do not help an already difficult situation that the EC as an institution is. I mean, we are in March. There's a number of months left, before the election. But I would hope that constantly, as the EC works to deliver this election, they would also be, mindful and guided by, the atmosphere in which they are operating, which is not the best. So every step of the way should be guided by, do these actions, do these inactions reinforce, improve confidence and trust in the institution? Some way, somehow, and I don't know the genesis of it, but the more I reflect on our elections and the attitudes of our two major political parties, there's also this belief that win or lose is partly also a reflection of what an EC chooses to do, or or not do. So again, you want to make sure that you allay the fears of the two main players that look, you are truly an impartial arbiter in this critical, part of our democracy, which is regular competitive elections. That's why, for me, the questions would come. The angst would always be there, but the burden is primarily on the EC to regularly allay everyone's fears. And it is their actions or inactions that would help all of those fears or all of those concerns go to an extreme minimal level where everyone starts feeling like, okay, we are going into this election knowing that both the process and the outcome cannot be called into question.
I see, but you make a point about the Electoral Commission conducting itself as a truly impartial arbiter. I mean, what actions and inactions would, as it were, send that strong signal, that unwavering commitment of the EC to be a truly impartial arbiter, especially considering the precedents we've been used to in this country, at least have been awake to elections in this country from the year 2000 to date, where every time the Electoral Commission will have to battle with the perception of it being, quote unquote, in bed with the government or the political party in power. What conduct would convince you, for instance, that the Electoral Commission is an impartial arbiter?
So, for example, I'm very happy that the National Democratic Congress, our main opposition party, decided to return to IPAC. Dr. Farijan, in the Constitution Day remarks, talked about the critical importance of IPAC in the sense that it is not there to, quote unquote, instruct or tell the EC what to do, but at the same time, it provides an important platform for consensus building around important issues of how we conduct the election. So for me, that is one platform that gives me that reassurance and that confidence from the EC in terms of how it treats all political parties, particularly the two main political parties gathered around the IPAC table around some of these critical issues. So I'll give you an example. So if you remember in the limited registration exercise previously, where it was all limited to just the district offices, there were a lot of questions, issues raised about accessibility, the burden on the voter to register in order to be able to exercise their fundamental constitutional right, etc., etc. But you notice that there has been at least an improvement on the EC's position where, in the next, exercise that there will be additional centers where if it is difficult for the voter to get to the district office, that there will be opportunities for, that particular voter to register in other places within, the district. Again, for me, those are the kinds of things that, yes, so it doesn't fully expand it and say registration will be conducted throughout the constituency or at all polling stations. But at least when I observe the softening of some of these originally, quote unquote, hardline positions, it is this or nothing else, regardless of all the appeals and questions and all of the things that are raised. For me, those things help build confidence because at least you know that the institution is listening, is paying attention, is willing to work with all of the key stakeholders to build consensus without compromising its own independence and its constitutional charge as the one responsible for delivering elections. So those are some of the things that for me, I look for and encourage, right, the EC, to keep doing.
I see. Now, thank you very much for that input. And I'll just take a minute from Dennis Miracle-Zawaji on one thing that you mentioned, that based on the details of the Afrobarometer survey, which is conducted by you in conjunction with other organizations, the percentage of people who say they trust the Electoral Commission is at an all-time low. I mean, what should the stakeholders be seen to be doing to ensure that this trust and confidence in the EC is improved or increased going into this crucial election? Miracles, in a minute.
Well, I don't know what it was in 2012 or what it was in 2016. So really,
This is at an all-time low.
I don't know the figures. Maybe if you can share all those figures, then we can really ascertain.
Okay.
But I don't know what it was in 2012, 2016. So I can't tell whether it's actually at an all-time low. But I believe, Doc. But the point here is that, I have told you
Indeed
my issues with Electoral Commission. And I think that as an organization, they have a responsibility to continue to improve.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that we should continuously wear them with that same cloth anytime an issue comes up.
Right.
In this particular instance, I read their response and I'm comfortable.
Okay.
I think it's fine.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that they should go to sleep. On day-to-day basis, as an organization, especially being an arbiter as they are, they have a responsibility to continuously improve and push a lot more confidence into the people. The concerns being raised today about the Electoral Commission, they are not different from the concerns we raised in 2012, in 2016. Alfred,
yes,
it is the same allegations. And you made a very important point about how you think that the EC is usually accused as being in bed with the government of the day. They have a responsibility. It's their job. I don't work with the EC.
Right.
It's their job to continuously ensure that some of these things are improved. But otherwise, trust me, there is nothing the EC is being accused of today that when we were accusing them in 2012 and 2016, Honorable Dafewepo and the NDC did not come to defend them. But they have to improve. They have to improve.
This issue of the trust and confidence, because if you talk about it being at an all-time low, that's concerning. No, not just for the politics of it, but of our democracy as well, is it not? Maybe quickly before we go.
Yes, you see, people are gauging you by conduct. Mm-hmm. And I mentioned the issue of the politicization of the recruitment populating the EC with persons who are politically tainted. Mm-hmm. When that happens, it erodes the confidence that people have.
When you do this, you're inviting me to come and
double that with the fact that there are very really disturbing developments. Machines are getting missing.
Machines are not missing.
Oh, okay. Machines are not able to be accounted for within time frames that they are supposed to be. So it gives people, especially the opposition party like the NDC, cause to worry.
Okay.
Look, the EC must be like Caesar's wife. They must live above reproach.
All right.
If they do that, everybody will be happy with their work.
I agree.
Okay, thank you.
You understand?
Right.
For instance, this issue about the indelible ink, a requirement of law, and then you are pushing that you will not apply it. As we speak, the district level elections that had been held 19th of December 2023, it didn't go, they didn't apply the indelible ink. Should I go to the Supreme Court and have it struck down as invalid? But so you don't have to allow people to have fraud with you.
Thank you very much. So, Council, really appreciate this, and I acknowledge the case that you have as well in court on this matter. Thank you. Bismarck Abobi says the missing laptops is dangerous because what is needed for the laptop to function is just internet connection. The registration software is sitting in the memory of the laptops. Bismarck. Thank you very much for this one. There's one also that came through. I'll just read it quickly. It said, Kwabena Ansa says that we must all know this, that the laptop is the gateway to the cloud storage. A hacker can easily access your cloud storage if he gets access to your laptop. So this is a concern that you're just bringing Dennis's attention to on it as well. Let me acknowledge the 2,400 messages that we got today throughout the period of the show. I would want to say thank you very much to as many of you who sent the messages And the ones I was able to read, and then also
Do they include the national service persons? They are suffering, and
I have been very consistent.
No, I raised their issue.
I have been consistent on their matter.
I raised their issue
know.
on the floor of Parliament.
That's when they were owed 4 months.
Yes.
When I consistently raised the
Yes.
issue, they paid them 2 months. They have 2 months left, and so on. So it's something that yes,
I raised
we will
it.
stay
I
the
was-
same.
I was informed
Thank
that
you very much.
They'll pay some.
Yes,
Okay.
indeed. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
overspending.
Dennis
See where it's
Miracles
landed at.
Abuaji is
Then it's
the
peace service
spokesperson for
Peace service
the Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia campaign team. He is a former MC
I will not be
of the
invited
campaign North.
unceremoniously by you.
And are you still at the Interministerial Committee?
Yes, I am.
I see.
He's also the campaign spender for Dr. Bawumia.
Campaign spokesperson.
Spender. He spends the money.
Hey,
Also, we
he's in
have
France.
What's his
Martin
campaign
Bebo.
spending?
Thank you very much.
Everything is money.
You disperse.
Everything is money.
Martin Bebo is private legal practitioner. Oh my goodness. He is the leader of the Kobe Preko Reloaded demonstration. Also, and one of the leaders of the individual bondholder groups. Council, we'll talk about the status of this bonds matter next week. Because I
And the
received...
asset declaration law.
yes,
President
yes.
Kufuor is running away from it.
This is on the table.
But I
That's
told you
the
it's
declaration.
ready. So
Council Nelson Rosin Eche Dafia Mekpo, also thank you very much. He is
And he has NDC.
the plaintiff to the case
NDC inclined.
involving the Attorney General and the Speaker of Parliament. He's a member of Parliament for the South Dike constituency. He's a private legal practitioner, one of the sponsors of the anti-LGBTQ plus bill. Dr. John Osai Kwapong, I would want to say thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. And then also to you, Justice, Dr. Justice Srem Sai, private legal practitioner and a lecturer as well. The Honorable Samuel Atachia, we had a little connection with a problem with him, but at the point was able to also join us. Thank you very much for the patience as well to join us. On behalf of the rest of the team, James Tete, Samuel Ametepe Adam, Gertrude Oforiwa Bracom, and then also Leslie Kujo, Deborah Abba Mansa, Seth Jan, and Dick Mauto, Justice Akpedo, with my producer, Abdallah. Thank you very much as well to all the team members for this morning. I was clothed this morning by Mali and Express. You can look up for them on social media. Mali Express, M-A-L-L-I Express. I am Alfred Concept. Do have a great weekend.